Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Eric Viking, and I'd like to welcome you all to week 6, Executive Communication and Influence. We will focus on executive presence, how persuasion is built through communication, as well as influence. At the end of this lesson, you should all be able to characterize executive presence as an embodied leadership rather than performance. You should all be able to competently explain the role that character competence and proficiency play to uphold presence in your work centers. We know that communication in leadership is the heart and soul of an entire operation. Without communication, everything falls apart. So, with communication, trust is built, relationships grow or fall apart. You could have a greater impact or lack thereof based on how communication is acted upon. Influence could be gained through communication, of course. For leaders to remain competent, they must understand that communication is a very intricate process. Okay. We have to take into account diversity because the way that you speak to one person or how what channel you use to talk to a certain group of individuals may not be the same in a different situation. And that brings to mind technology. You may use technology such as a mass email to communicate certain things to your team, but there are other times it's more appropriate to talk to them in person. Okay. All of this embodies effective communication. Of course, we communicate so that we can persuade, and we have to be committed to the overall objective of the organization that we're running and not our in personal motives when we gain the power of persuading our team members. There's a very fine line. We could go astray and have individuals do things the way we want to do them versus doing things that are in line with the organization that we're leading. Okay. We don't want to abuse our ability to persuade. We must know that putting key competencies such as character and being reasonable um, to the needs of the stakeholders, that could essentially buy us an executive presence and the ability to persuade our team members. And of course, influence is driven by culture and organizations which dictate what should be rewarded. So, for instance, some of your employees may like to get time off. Others may want a bonus. Some might feel, well, a certificate of appreciation is good enough to acknowledge how awesome they are. So we must understand these things in order for us to be more persuasive with our team members. So it's an active process. Of course, influence is built in there, and how we utilize our voices could actually make a difference. Okay. Um, I would advise that we convey confidence and conviction by using a steady, expressive voice so that we can actually amplify our persuasive impact and, of course, our perceived presence in the work center. Feel free to utilize some of these resources that we have here, these other sources, to support some of the things that we've discussed here tonight. And your assignments are due on the noted dates here by 11:55 Eastern Standard Time. And I'll be happy to answer any questions or concerns that you may have, comments concerning the lesson that we just went through. Thank you.